The EvoJet, Williams' next generation of super yacht tender. 7.1 metres long, 2.6 metres wide, with space for 13 passengers and capable of 41 miles an hour. The EvoJet is the perfect marriage of luxury and performance.
Hello, and welcome back to another Williams walkthrough. In this video, we're going to be focusing on our brand new flagship model, the Williams EvoJet. Designed specifically for 40+ metre super yachts and packed full of unique features, I'm going to show you everything on board. So I'm stood at the control centre of the EvoJet, the helm, which you will notice is very, very different to how our diesel jet helms look. This one really is a step forward in terms of design for us, and we've gone for these lovely soft touch Navex panels, flush fit navigation equipment and audio to really have that nice considered design. So first things first, ergonomics, which is always very, very important on any boat. This is a very comfortable position for driving sitting or standing, and that's thanks to this rotating helm bolster. So you can be sat down and you've got lovely sight lines through the windscreen, or you can be stood up, resting back on the bolster. It gives you all of those sorts of options. Twin MFDs on this boat, which is new for us. We haven't done that before. That allows you to run one screen with all of your key engine data that you want to be monitoring whilst you're running. So fuel, load, speed, heading, all of those bits and bobs. And then your secondary screen can run your chart plotter, your fish finder, your audio screen, all fully customizable within the Raymarine Lighthouse software. We've got the Fusion Premium music system fitted here, so a lovely flush mount head unit. That allows you to connect to your phone, the radio, all the usual bits and bobs that you need to do. And that is connected into 6.5 inch speakers and a 12-inch subwoofer, which sits underneath the helm here. So you really will never be short of audio power on this boat, and you can even hear it when you're running along at 40 miles an hour. You've also got your Bennett trim tab control panel here. So this boat does come with trim tabs, which allows you to obviously adjust the attitude of the bow, and if you're running in a cross sea, kind of really stabilize the boat nicely with port or starboard tabs. You've got a Raymarine VHF unit just on your left hand here, which goes back to a base station lower down, but it gives you full control on the handheld unit there to switch channel, distress calls, all of those bits and bobs, and also a compass, which is new for us. We haven't had that on any of our Williams tenders before, so it allows you to run at a specific heading, but as a compass works. And then the other feature here, you've got your central control panel with all the switch gear for your bilge pump, your LED deck lights, your horn, underwater lights, all of the options that you would specify on this boat can be run back to that analog control panel. So lots of storage around the helm area here as well. So you've got a glove box, which is located just down here, so you can store all your essentials. We do also have the option for a man overboard light that fits within that, which then has a charging unit. So if you were to be in a situation where a man overboard event happened, you grab the torch out of there and you throw it into the water, and that acts as a strobing beacon for anyone to help you locate them if you're doing it in the dark, for instance. Further storage, you've got the central storage unit here, which is a nice solid unit, lots of space for wallets, phones, keys, all of your essentials right to hand, and that is obviously easily accessible by the people who are sat in the rear of the boat as well. A lot of thought has been put into boarding on board this tender, being that it principally is used as a tender. Getting your guests on and off in the easiest possible fashion is very important. So as normal on most of our large tenders, you've got a dedicated tube step pad which you step onto. Boarding pole falls right to hand, and then a nice mid-step there that allows you to transition into the boat very easily. We've also got forward, port, starboard and rear locations for the boarding pole. So should you need to put the bow forward up onto the quay, again, you've got a handhold there, a large landing point for your feet, and then a nice simple step down into the flat level floor that runs to the back of the boat. So a really big feature on this EvoJet, which is a very big change from our existing diesel jet range, is the central walk-through transom. So as it is here, you've got 3 seats, but if you flip this one over 180 degrees, it turns into a full walk-through transom. So with the boarding pole in your left hand, which allows you to get on the back. So if you're stern to berthing in the Med, for instance, it's very simple for getting on and off. Small step down, And then the other really nice feature on this boat is you've got a single level floor throughout the whole boat. You've also got a full walk around helm. There's nothing stopping you doing that, which means there's nothing that's going to trip you up as you're moving around or guests are getting on and moving to the forward or the back of the boat. The EvoJet is powered by the very well-proven Yanmar 4LV diesel engine. So it's the same engine that we use on our 625 and 565, but in this boat it's running at 250 horsepower, which allows us to achieve a top speed of 40 miles an hour. So access is very simple. You've got forward and aft access on this engine, so you can get to all the essentials. But you lift it up. Lots of lighting you'll see in the engine bay here, which it makes it a lot easier for you to see what you're doing and what you need to access. Main steel frame here is a single point lift, which has multiple positions, so you can adjust the lift fore and aft depending on how much fuel you've got on board at the time. You've got your fuse box, and you've got obviously your battery monitoring system here, and then the main engine sits behind it. You've also got your battery isolators located on the front face here, and this is your auto tube inflator device. So you press that on and off, and that means if you did have your deflated tube when you're in garage storage, you press that and you'll inflate the full tube within 5 minutes. Single point lift access is very simple on this boat. So you remove the main helm piece of upholstery and stow that out of the way. And you'll see you've got your plastic hatch, which sits above the single point lift frame. So shackle on there in the multiple positions you've got, and then you lift from there. Something that's really important on tenders of this size is the ability to customize the lifting solution. So we do offer a single point lift, which sits above the engine and below the helm here. And so for single gantry cranes or post-mounted cranes, that's the solution. But often on super yachts in the 40, 50, 60 meter bracket, they will have twin gantry cranes in the garage. So for those to lift easily, we can customize where we put flush mounted lifting points in the floor. So fore and aft, we can put them wherever you require them to ensure that they line up perfectly with the lifting points on your twin gantry cranes. A very, very useful feature on board the EvoJet as standard is the fitment of a clean-out tunnel. So under the hatch here, you've got an assembly which can be removed, which allows you to put your arm down and you can get access to the impeller, the shaft and the intake grate. So if you were unfortunately to take anything into the jet pump unit itself through the intake grate, you can reach down, remove it by hand and get underway again. So the most notable feature on the EvoJet is of course the carbon fibre T-top. So the top section here is moulded carbon fibre, which we've painted grey for this particular boat, and then the supporting arms are made of aluminium. The really nice feature on here is that you've got load springs within the arms. So when you're dropping it down and lowering it or erecting it, all of the weight of the assembly is supported by the load springs. So in terms of operation, you're going to drop these two levers in the roof, which pull out. That allows the roof to fold down against the arms. Once you're there, you've got two further hand-operated levers down port and starboard. These pop out, you pull them out, and the whole assembly drops down onto the aft of the boat where it gets stowed. So when you're going into a garage, you can take the whole assembly down and it doesn't affect the overall height of the boat. On this particular T-top, we've also got downlighters fitted, so that gives you a bit of extra light. And something that I would point out is the height of this, which we took a lot of time to make sure it was right. So I'm 191 centimetres and I've got lots of headroom above me, even when standing full height at the helm. So yeah, a very functional option on this boat, which obviously the principal reason is when you're out in the Mediterranean, North America, wherever you are, in the sun, you've got that really nice proper sun protection from above. Another option that you can combine with the carbon fibre T-top is some sunshade biminis. So the biminis attach to the front and the aft section of the carbon T-top, and they go forward to two poles that sit in the front and two poles that sit in the rear, which gives you full sunshade across the whole length of the boat. So the bow area of the EvoJet, firstly we've got lots of space, which is obviously very important, but we also have lots of storage on board this boat. So you've got port and starboard lockers, you've got a dedicated anchor locker, and you've also got underseat storage in front of the helm. That can either be a fridge unit or you can leave it just as standard storage. So looking at these units, they've got gas struts in them, so they're very, very easy to open, lined with sea deck in the bottom, and lots of space for snorkels, fins, all of those bits and bobs, rucksacks, bags, anything really that you want to fit in there, you've got lots of space. So equal on port and starboard. And in the port locker, you've also got storage for the boarding pole. Two further options that are available in the bow of the EvoJet is one is that you can have this as a fully open layout. So we would remove the storage, remove the seating and the step in the bow. So if you wanted more of a work or a crew focused tender, or potentially something that can work for diving and you want dive racks in the middle, we can remove all of this, and that's one option. The second option in the bow is to have a high-low table. So 4 people can be seated around a table for a spot of lunch, and that table also doubles up in that it drops into a lower position on a hydraulic pedestal leg with upholstery infills, and the full bow area of the EvoJet becomes a sun pad. So the anchor has its own dedicated locker in the bow of the boat. So we'll lift that up, and what you'll see is that we've also got the anchor secured on this lobe nut. There's a slight recess in the moulding with rubber lined at the bottom, which means when you're running along at 40 miles an hour in heavy seas, whatever you're doing, the anchor is fully secure in that locker and it's not going to bang around and cause any damage. So underneath this 2-person seat, you do have some really nice storage, which I'll just open up. Again, Gastra assisted, so very easy to open. This particular boat doesn't have the fridge unit fitted inside the box, but you do have that option, hence why we've got the drain in there. You can fill it with ice, fill it with drinks, and keep everything nice and cold. So a couple of key features at the back of the EvoJet, starting with the pump. So we are utilising the same pump system that we use on the diesel jet range, so very, very proven, very reliable. But one big difference on this boat is we're now using control rods rather than cables for the steering and the bucket position. So the steering is a fully hydraulic system with the control rods exposed at the back. So the big benefit there is that you're going to really not struggle with any corrosion issues that you often have with cables. You've got the standard bathing ladder, retractable bathing ladder that you have on all Williams jet tenders, which means getting in and out of the water when you've gone for a swim is very easy. You'll notice this boat again has been fitted with the underwater lights, and you can see the deck lights, which on the EvoJet extend onto the rear faces here in these undercut mouldings. So again, that's an option on board the boat, and the recessed LED deck lighting goes throughout the whole deck, which makes a really nice effect when you're in the dark and you're getting on and off. It makes it easy to get on, but it does make the boat look pretty cool as well. Lots of handholds for getting out of the water, as per usual on all of our tenders. And you'll notice that we've got a removable ski pole that sits within the walk-through transom area there. And this can come out, it's removable, and gets stowed in one of the forward lockers. Another optional extra that this particular boat has been fitted with is the freshwater shower, which is on here. It's on a retractable reel. You can hear the reel there. Gives you lots of fresh water there for showering off when you're coming out from the water. Give it a tug, and it will retract back in.
Thanks for watching this EvoJet walkthrough. Please let us know what you think of this next generation tender in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.